Former President Ma Ying-jeou's March visit to China, a first for any past or current leader of Taiwan. It's a trip made possible by something called the 1992 Consensus, a deeply controversial idea in Taiwan. Some say it's not even a consensus. And when asked if they could explain it, here's what people in Taipei had to say.
92共识就是一个中国两个不同的政也不叫政府啊，两个地区吧。对对对，然后大家都承认是一个中国了。
我只知道它跟一个中国不太是完全一模一样的概念，有点像是类似模糊在一个中国界限之间的东西。
其实我也没有到非常的了解，但觉得其实台湾如果是自己一个独立的国家的话，或许还不错。
So how could such a fragile concept make it possible for a former president of Taiwan to visit China as tensions between the countries reach a peak? Here's how it works. The term refers to an unwritten agreement between the opposition Kuomintang, or KMT, and the Chinese Communist Party. Under it, both sides agree that there is one China, which includes Taiwan. But they're free to interpret that as they want. For the KMT, that's the Republic of China, Taiwan's official name. But for the CCP, it means the People's Republic of China. Basically, the two sides agree to disagree. But how did this idea come about? To answer that, we'll need to go back a bit. For much of the 20th century, the governments in Taiwan and China had no official contact with each other. That changed in the late 1980s, when Taiwan began shifting to a democracy. By the early 1990s, the two sides agreed to hold a series of talks to begin normalizing relations. But for those meetings to happen, they had to agree on Taiwan's status, and to avoid any awkward situations. That's how they arrived at the One China Different Interpretations formula. It wasn't until years later that a KMT official gave it the name 1992 Consensus. The KMT says those exchanges have laid the foundation for cross-strait relations for the past 3 decades. It says the 1992 Consensus gives Taiwan the room to deal with China without making either side uncomfortable.
Today, we continue to prove that it is useful and it's also a guardrail to slow down, to ease the cross-strait conflict, cross-strait tensions. So I think this is very important for the regional stability and peaceful environment.
But the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, disagrees. It says the term is simply another way of accepting Beijing's stance that Taiwan is a part of the People's Republic of China. The DPP has refused to adopt it in its approach to cross-strait relations, something that has angered China.
And if Taiwan admits or readmits the 1992 Consensus or the One China principle again, then it will be highly misleading to the world that Taiwan wants to be part of China. So that has a severe consequence.
Supporting the DPP's argument is China, which has made it clear that it was never on board with the KMT's different interpretations idea. For Beijing, the 1992 Consensus is no different than any of the other phrases it uses to lay claim to Taiwan.
要贯彻新时代党解决台湾问题的总体方略，坚持一个中国原则和92共识。
Even some in the KMT are ready to let the term go, especially after losing popularity from being seen as too pro-China. Legislator Johnny Chiang tried to retire it during his brief stint as party chair in 2020. Current chair Eric Chu has called it a no-consensus consensus. But strong supporters of the concept, like Ma, continue to hold considerable power within the party, which means that as long as the KMT is a force in Taiwanese politics, the phrase 1992 Consensus will likely be around for the foreseeable future. Damon Lin and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.